here growing in my yard is a big, beautiful dandelion. And I've chosen this particular dandelion to harvest because it's growing in an area where the soil is relatively soft. So I'm avoiding like the dandelions growing along my driveway over yonder, and I'm avoiding areas that, you know, people are walking a lot, like a trail in the forest. This area, it's pretty soft, so I'm gonna try digging this dandelion up. And here on my hip, I have my hori-hori knife, my digging and weeding knife that I love so much. I have it in a little sheath that I can wear. And so, it's gonna come in from all sides. Pushing in and going, prying up, right? I want to get leverage, so I went straight down in and then I'm going pop. I'm going around the whole dandelion. You can see I'm kind of going around it in a circle right now. Alright. And it's starting to loosen up. Now, before I pull it up, I want to make sure to say thank you, dandelion. Okay. Oh, I broke it. That's okay. Well, you can see I dug and dug and dug. And I got almost all of it. Look, it was actually 2 dandelion plants, but their roots are connected down here. It's pretty cool. It smells good. It's gonna be delicious. Hey y'all. So, I have successfully separated the root from the greens. So I'm gonna set these greens aside for later. I could use them in cooking greens, like mixed with kale or chard, or if they're small and tender enough, I could even use them in a salad. So, yeah, whatever you want. And I cleaned these. I cleaned them well, but not too well, because I've read that you want to keep the outer layer of the dandelion root skin on. You can kind of see here it has like this little layer that can peel off or not, but you want to keep that intact. And so now I have these roots, and I'm just going to cut them up into little pieces, like 1/4 inch about. And then once I have them all chopped up, I'm going to put them in the oven. And I'm going to set the oven to 250 degrees, give or take how hot your oven actually is when it heats up. My oven runs a little hot. You want to err on the side of cooler because you really don't want to burn these. Because you're also kind of drying them in the process. Like some recipes say to just go ahead and put them in your dehydrator if you have one, and then roast them. But what I'm going to tell you all to do is to do the oven only recipe, because that is going to be a little bit easier and more straightforward. And yeah, and I'm pretty sure all y'all have access to an oven, so yeah, it'll be easier that way. Yeah, and just simpler, less steps. So yeah, so we're cutting these into little tiny pieces, and we're going to roast them. So the roasting, it really adds a lot to the flavor of the dandelion. You could go ahead and just make a tea now with this raw dandelion that you just cut up, and it would still be good medicine for you, but the flavor wouldn't be quite as good. If we roast this dandelion now, it's going to taste delicious. It's going to be like a kind of earthy, rich flavor. And yeah, that's kind of like in one of our small groups the other day with the Oaks, we talked about the spectrum between a tasty, delicious beverage and medicine, right? And so some beverages might fall somewhere along that line of the spectrum. Some might be mostly tasty and delicious, but some medicine. and then like mint tea, for example, maybe with some honey in it to make it extra tasty. And then like all the way over here in the more of the medicine realm, you could have raw dandelion tea, right? It's not really going to taste good, but it's going to be medicine. And then this roasted dandelion tea, I would say, would fall, more in the middle of the spectrum towards the tasty beverage side, right? It's still medicine, but it's going to be more delicious this way. So yeah, I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in the oven at 250 degrees for 2 hours. And I am going to stir them in the middle. And yeah, I'll show you all that process as it happens. Hey y'all, so it's been 1 hour since I put the dandelion roots in the oven. I'm going to check on them. So let's see here. How are they doing? Oh wow, they're smaller than they were. Can you see? They're like a lot drier and they've shrunk considerably in size. So here, I'm just going to give them a little stir. You see, just move them around on the pan. And observe. Yeah, they're getting crunchy and dry now. But I can feel that there's still a little bit of water in them too. I could even break them up a little bit more if I want to. Some of them kind of break apart. And now that they've been wiggled around, I shall put them back in the oven for just 1 more hour. And then we'll see how they look. Here I have the fully dried out and roasted dandelion. You can see it's shrunk a lot in size. And now I'm going to chop it up even finer. So some recipes say to put it in your coffee grinder if you have one. And then they say, you can also just chop it up into little pieces. And so I've chosen to use this big heavy knife. It'll be easier for chopping up these kind of hard dandelions. They're like really crunchy little rocks. But I'm just gonna use my big heavy knife and safely crunch them up even finer. And that'll just help more of the medicine come out when we steep it. So this teapot already has a strainer. Some teapots have them built in, but I'll probably also use a fine mesh strainer like I have back here on the wall, something like this, once it's all steeped and done. But yeah, I'm just gonna pour that in, and then I'm gonna put some hot water on. Alright, so the water has boiled. Now I'm going to pour it over the chopped up, dried and roasted dandelions, and make sure to cover it. Anytime you're making any kind of herbal tea, it helps to have more medicine get extracted if you cover it. And I'm going to cover it for about 10 minutes.